Question 240. Should religions have exemptions to public safety rules?
No.
Is that in general? Because that, we could definitely push a lot of people up to fix the roof in the church with no safety rules.
In what is there any context to this question?
No, none whatsoever.
Then no.
Should they be allowed to gather when there is a viral outbreak?
No.
I don't think they should be allowed to gather at all, but...
you
Right.
mean, Jen?
It's just a crutch. They don't need it.
They don't. And there's nothing they couldn't do remotely now, apart from pass around the collection plate.
Pass around the PayPal link.
It's not the same, though. It lists who you are.
Pass around the Bitcoin link.
That one jerk, he's only been given $1 for 3 months. Yeah.
He's not tithing. Don't they usually make them put their money in an envelope so they can keep track of how much money the parishioners are giving?
Some do.
Yeah. So that
Those ones could work with a PayPal link.
You can donate anonymously on a PayPal link, though.
You can on a PayPal fund, I think. One of the PayPal things you can.
Yeah.
But the church doesn't want to give away the percentage. The money is theirs, damn it. They don't like other people having a cut. It's their scam.
Where do we get to cut them?
So no one is going to try and defend the religious freedom to meet.
Nope.
Not if I can't go to the fucking what am I talking about? If I can't go around for my role play evening, they can't go around for their church evening.
They're pretty much identical. Yes.
What type of role play you play?
That a god exists.
It's kind of set in similar to the Fallout universe.
I have only played Fallout Shelter. So I'm just imagining that you're little people trying to collect resources.
No. Well, we are trying to collect resources sometimes, but what do we do? Oh, we tortured a guy, but we probably shouldn't get into that.
You tortured someone.
Yeah, it was part of the. We had to find out where the stuff was.
Tom says, "I don't need to defend the religious freedom to free assembly. I defend all natural rights to free association."
Okay.
But again, does that count if that is harmful to others?
It's like, screaming fire in a crowded theater.
Yeah.
It's free speech only goes so far.
Yes.
Same idea.
It's one of those things where, rights-wise, I think the right to privacy is probably wrong. Oddly enough.
Oh, I disagree with you there.
No, I think you have to give up something to function in society, and we could have freedom to assembly. We could keep our freedom to assemble, right? Within the context of public safety, but on that basis, I want to know what that person has been doing, that person has been to that assembly. Their right to privacy is compromised by their assembling in an unsafe fashion. That's very badly explained.
Yes, but I think I get the point you're making.
I agree.
Yeah, it's not that I'm against the right to privacy in its own right, but
yeah, no, I understand you now. I think the position should be that, as at the present time, assembling in that way is demonstrably harmful. Doing it infringes on other people's rights to not get fucking dead.
yes. Intellectual Iconoclasm says, at a certain point we must accept a temporary infringement of social order to ensure that social order will be thereafter.
Yep.
You know, I think if they want to gather and then just go home and nobody from their family or any of them ever leave their home except to go to Sunday service, then I don't care. But they gather, they mix shit around, and then they go out everywhere, and we have to deal with it.
But they're covered in the blood of Jesus, so they're totally protected.
See, this is the problem. When they believe that what they are doing is demonstrably good.
Did you see that video, B?
Yeah.
Oh no, I know. I know what they think. I know. They also think if they just pray to God that they're all going to be fine and bills will be paid and diseases will disappear, and that's why half the people that think that live in the hood and have no money because they're just waiting for God to solve it for them.
Exactly.
So only people called Bill are going to get paid?
Right. So my thoughts on it have just gone out of my head as soon as I started speaking. So come back to me.
The problem I have with going slightly down the route because I did. My issue is how you access data or the information you have access to needs to be specific rather than generic. And I sum this up like this.
Dave.
Yeah.
What context are we in right now?
Well, just in context of generally accessing other people's information. What rights you have to access to invade other people's privacy.
I would say as close to zero as humanly possible.
I disagree. And I'll explain why. Okay? I do not have a right to know that my next door neighbour is a paedophile. I do have a right to know whether or not my next door neighbour can be trusted with my children. Okay?
How do they do it over there? Because over here you can look up people on an app and see where all the pedophiles are in the area.
I very much disagree with that. I consider that a massive.
I don't.
No, I don't see I don't see what relevance it matters. All that's important is whether or not.
No, it does matter. Go ahead.
Go on. What is important is whether or not your children are safe.
Right.
Yeah? Where that person lives, what that person does, assuming they are in no way infringing on my children's safety, is none of my business. Does that make sense?
But you're assuming they're not infringing on your children's safety.
Entirely. This is where the conflict.
Pedophiles are reoffenders.
Right. This is where the conflict lies. Right. So my point being is I need to know whether or not my child is safe with that person.
Right.
That's what I need to know. I don't need to know what they've done, anything like that. I just need to know whether or not my child is safe around with that person. Can I trust that person?
Sex offender registry laws in the UK?
Yes.
Okay.
But we don't have a right to know.
The general public does not have access to that.
No?
No.
No.
Huh.
It would. It can be disclosed in an enhanced disclosure thing, which is done by some employers when you're applying for certain jobs where you could be working with at-risk groups. Like when I was for care jobs I've done, I had to do an enhanced disclosure to see if I'd had any prior criminal convictions that would preclude me from working with vulnerable adults.
Yes.
But you couldn't just go to the database and see any of that unless you have an actual reason to be looking at it.
Yes, and this is my point. And I use a nice big example with the paedophile or sexual offences because there's a nice black and white as to what we generally think about those things. But in everyday life, you don't have a right to know that your banker has committed fraud, but you do have a right to know whether or not they can be trusted to handle money or handle your money. Does that make sense? And this.
Yeah, but that's implying you can trust someone, and you can't really truly trust anybody until you know them. Part of knowing them is knowing their background.
Yes, and they are welcome to tell you that themselves. The question is whether or not that information is public. It's why we have licenses. It's why we license builders. It's why we have accounting licenses. These are things that usurp trust that say, can I trust that person?
Right.
Excuse me. We end up in a situation at the moment where we give too much away, especially by trying to put things in very narrow boxes. I mean, the sex is it the sex offenders register? Right, there are some massive problems with that, because you've got people that if I talk to you through them, that you would consider a real threat on that list, and you have got people that a 16-year-old and a 15-year-old had consensual sex, and they're on that list.
And you've got people who were once falsely accused of
rape.
I know it's statutory rape, right? But my point being, they are treated the same under the law and the list, and whether or not you can work with children 20 years from now.
You've also got people on the list who were once falsely accused by a child in that they were teaching who had mental health issues and stuff like that.
Yes.
You don't have Romeo and Juliet laws, Dave?
No, it's gotten that. No is the simple answer to that question.
The rape laws in the UK are fucked up, Amanda. Men cannot be raped in the UK unless it's by other men.
That's not what a Romeo and Juliet law is.
No, I know.
No, but I'm just saying the rape laws in the UK are messed up. Yeah, they're fucked up. It's an example of how fucked up they are. So a woman cannot rape a man in the UK. It's not legally possible. Which is stupid.
What's intriguing is the fact that we had someone convicted.
Depends on the situation.
It does, very much so. But yes, going way off here, way off track. We basically got to the point where we think that religious freedoms should not have.
One more comment on
I just wanted to put religious people to fix their own roof.
What? I know. Badger?
Whoa,
Simon,
everybody
you
slow.
get it.
Go on, Badger.
Yeah, I have one more comment on the privacy thing, which is that I am of the opinion that privacy is a right that most people voluntarily give up.
Yeah, I think most things are, but yeah.
But I am very much of the opinion that I do not give up that right, and I do not grant anyone access to any information I'm not comfortable with them having. And if they ask me for it, I tend to cut them out of my life.
Yes.
If they ask me for it...
Why are you still talking to me? I constantly ask you.
Let me put it this way. If they ask me for it in a way that implies they have a right to it.
Oh, fair enough.
If they ask me in a joking way, as most people that I chat to online do, then I don't really give a shit because it's all in fun. But if they ask me in a way that implies that I should have already told them,
yes,
then they can fuck right off, and I probably won't ever talk to them again.
No, I completely agree, and I constantly argue with companies. I completely refuse to give information, and they are really object because I run my own domains. My email address for a company is their company name at my domain. So I know when they're hacked. I know when they have sold my data, and I go back to them and I bitch. If you enjoyed that, please hit the thumbs up button. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down. If you think you've got a better answer or just want to tell us how wrong we are, leave a comment down below. Subscribe down here for new questions every day, and make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss out on our live shows. If you click over here, you'll see our latest upload. Over here, for what YouTube thinks you'll love the most. And finally, for a complete playlist of all our currently released questions, click here.